another part of town or different ministry, he'd start another Saturday morning club. Diba? But anyway, that's what happened. So nag-proliferate ngayon yung ganung mindset, and it changed the culture of the church. So now, Boston Church has a lot of teachers na they have the luxury of sending teachers kung saan yung mga churches na kailangan ng teaching weekend or ng teaching event. Okay? Pero dun yung nagsimula. Again, ang concern is not the appointment of teachers, but changing the culture so that yung culture ng ministry mo maging culture of learning. So in Manila, we really tried to do the same. No? Ramel and I, we came from that culture where everybody just wanted to learn. Of course, mas ideal yun if you start early in the campus ministry. But in any ministry, any life stage, pwede ito mangyari. Okay, next. Next.
Dami.
Bayad ba yung pangalawa? Salamat. Okay. Next, let's talk about getting members involved. Okay? Isa to talaga sa stress natin, di ba? Isa to sa stress natin in the last 2 years. And if you were there sa initial teaching ministry meetings natin before Ignite and during Ignite, remember that? Sinestress talaga natin na ang importante sa teaching ministry is not the title, pero the functions. And malapat ang functions. So, ang isang tao na interesado sa Bible at interesado sa teaching, maaaring hindi siya maging teacher, pero part siya ng teaching ministry.
Right.
At gusto natin i-fire up yung mga tao doon. Kasi minsan ang concept natin, like remember the early days of Manila, ang concept talaga natin ng teacher ay, Doug Jacoby, Gordon Ferguson. Either maging ganun ako o hindi. Diba? In fact, many people were discouraged. I'll never be a Doug Jacoby. I'll never be a Gordon Ferguson. Pero ngayon nga, na nag-grow church, nakita natin na ang lawak ng teaching ministry na hindi dapat nating maging goal na maging katulad nila. Kasi maraming magagawa sila na hindi natin magagawa at maraming tayong magagawa, hindi mo nila magagawa. For example, teaching ministry, yung helping seekers with tough questions. Again, this is not someone on stage, pero yung nagsastudy ng Bible, di ba? So, kailangan natin ng mga tao na equip na makakasagot. So we need, in fact, we even need some experts, di ba? Na pag yung nagsastudy ng Bible, saksi, di ba? Dapat meron tayong saksi expert.
Right. Right, right.
Maybe di ba? Na, di ba? Or pag nagsastudy dating dad, sino haharap natin? Di ba? Gusto natin, every church may ganun eh. Merong master ng Calvinism, may master ng Mormonism, may master, may ganun. I don't know kung tatawagin natin master. Di ba? Master Mormon. Study mo nga di ba? I'm not saying that, di ba? Pero the idea is, seekers have tough questions. And you know what? We love our Bible talk leaders, but some of our Bible talk leaders, hindi talaga sila equipped. So dapat may matawagan sila. Who you gonna call? Teaching ministry. Diba? So dapat may freedom yung Bible talk leaders. Alam nila kung sino yung mga experts. Ano pa? Academic teaching. There are just some people na they really wanna learn the Bible with an academic approach. Not everybody is like that. So, I think sa Ignite, na-explain ko na roughly, mga 5 to 10% lang talaga ng ministries natin ang magiging mahilig sa academic learning.
Yeah.
Okay? Sad to say. So that's one. Some people are just not academically inclined. Number two, ang Pilipinas is not really a reading society. Okay? Now, medyo siguro with the younger people mas nag-read. Pero ang kalaban nga natin is yung internet, puro videos eh. And people would rather watch than read. Now, paano ang academic learning? Hindi mo matanggal ang books, di ba? And articles sa academic learning. But still, kahit na ganon, meron pa rin mga tao na mas gusto nilang academic teaching. So, not everybody can be involved in APLA, not everybody can be enrolled in a Bible school, pero pwede magkaroon ng academic teaching in certain situations sa mga ministries natin that people get deeper teaching. Ano pa? there are just some things na everybody needs to know. There are some things that everybody needs to know. So tayo, we should be thinking that. Again, sinabi natin kanina, yung mga core groups natin nagiging busy. Yung mga ministers, mga church leaders natin nagiging busy. So, mag-a-assist tayo sa kanila. Some of us can write books. Some of us can write blogs. Okay? And then, I already mentioned this, syllabus development, working with the staff and the leadership group. Okay, some other things. If you're part of the teaching ministry, you can give reading recommendations. Okay? So, this is something we've really tried to do, you know, pero we need more success in this area, na para dun sa 5 to 10% na mas mahilig magbasa or get deeper, we want to give reading recommendations. For example, diba, kunwari, when you're sharing ninyo sa devotional, meron mag-share, hey, I'm reading this book now, you know, it's called Victory of Surrender by Gordon Ferguson. Recommended to sa mga nagsastruggle with this area. Okay? So yung 15-20 second na advertisement na yun, it can do a lot, diba? For your ministry, lalo na, kahit na not everybody will be interested, pero kung merong magbasa extra, then that's good already. So kami, so in Pasig, we have a library, and we really encourage people to read more. And so meron kaming sisters na librarian. So yung sisters na yun, they know they won't be teachers, pero they're part of the teaching ministry. So ang role nila sa teaching ministry, librarian. Okay? Ano pa? Book cataloging. Ano pa? Book review, website evaluation. We had a sister in my ministry, sumunod siya ng book review, no? And what they can, what you can say about this book. You can have that kind of engagement in your ministry. I know for some ministries, parang meron silang pino-form na parang book club, no? And they're just saying what's good. Or mga recommended, no? Recommended books on leadership, recommended books on doctrine, counseling, etc. For some of us, we could develop a book and tape ministry, no? Again, hindi lang yung recommended books, pero books to buy. And then maybe some of you building a library. And like I know many of you starting with a bookshelf, no? And then building it up. Core group can't do that. Papel yun ang teaching ministry, both brothers and sisters. Facilitating specialized study, like we mentioned earlier. Kanina sinabi natin about specific false doctrines, but also be specialized study like in a particular field of theology. Like kunwari, sana sa ministries natin meron tayong a person like really conversant on the Trinity. A person really conversant on church history. A person really conversant on psychology. Something like that. So, facilitating specialized study, hindi na yan naisip ng mga core group natin. Okay? Papel yan ng teaching ministry. So, another thing is giving input to preachers. Usually, ang preachers natin, they're busy people. Okay? And all of us, including myself, no, we can all improve in our preaching.
Yep.
I'm thankful na may mga brothers and sisters who talk to me after my preaching sa Pasig. And yun ang gusto ko sa ministry ko sa Pasig. Hindi ka maubusan ng suggestions, hindi ka maubusan ng comments, kasi namin silang old Christians and very opinionated ang mga Pasig. Okay? So I'm happy, no, na I get into it. And there's even one time, yung word na ginamit ko sa prayer, criticize. You know, na, bro, I don't think maganda yung word na ginamit ko sa prayer. Baka pwede ito. So, amen! You know, it's all good. Pero, I've tried to build that relationship with people. Na sige, people can approach me anytime. Sana ganun din yung culture natin in our ministries na pwede natin.
Right.
Especially in preaching. So, this is one thing that you can do. So in Pasig, meron wala na ngayon, pero short-lived, we had a committee of brothers and sisters. It was called the PRC, Preaching Refinement Committee. Okay? And you can do that too. You know, wag yung piliin yung 10 most critical people.
Yeah, no.
Bro, I did not like yung suit mo, di ba? Or hindi na plancha yung ano, hindi yung ganun kasi, pero more exegesis, development, illustrations, di ba, words used. You know, so, and you can give constructive criticism, you know, but that's helpful. Sino mag-iisip nun? Hindi na yan mag-iisip ng mga core group natin di ba? Pero, teaching ministry yan. Okay? Now, speaking of publications, here are some of the things that have been developed, but we definitely need more. Okay, and time First Principles booklet in English. Thank you Kamanava for the First Principles booklet in Tagalog. Thank you Romel and QC for the pre-marriage counseling guide, and of course when I have my Old Testament study guide. All right. Before we end, I want to share about what they're doing sa teaching ministry sa India. Okay? So, just like with us sa APLA, nag-start na sila ng School of Missions in Bangalore. They have a 3-year course. It was started in 2012. Yung 23 na nag-graduate, this really calls me higher, 23 na nag-graduate, nag-serve ng full-time sa India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Nepal. Okay? So, I want to get to this point na yung graduates natin are sent to other countries. Okay? It's a higher calling. It's a higher calling talaga. Okay? Now, just like AFLA, they have, meron silang biblical knowledge courses, spiritual development courses, and ministry leadership courses. One of the things na magandang ginawa nila, na again, hindi ito ginawa ng mga full-time, pero for teaching ministry, are what's known as tent makers classes. Okay. Sa Commonwealth Academy, you can check out their website, cwacademy.org. So, meron silang tent makers classes na hiniram nila from our church in Virginia. And so, ang goal ngayon ng teaching ministry nila is for mga non-full-time na magta-train sila. And they built it up so well na it was naging regular siya na lay leaders training. Maliit lang pero lumaki. And it's pretty ambitious. 8 months, every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Okay? So, I'm thinking, alright? So, okay, so, I'm not saying gagawin na natin to, but I'm sharing this to inspire you. Okay? Ito yung mga ginagawa ng mga non-full-time sa India. Okay? And many of them, I found out, many of them are just like us na two-person income. It's not enough na isa lang ang income for the family. Usually husband and wife work. So, amazing, this really calls me higher. Pero, again, babalik siya sa culture. Culture of learning, culture of learning. Another thing na ginagawa nilang more in India is apologetics. Okay? 1 Peter 3:15, be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks the reason for the hope that you have. So, they divided two apologetics nila sa Indian churches into two. Protect the saved to remain saved. Okay? So, protect the saved to remain saved. So, edify the flock and prepare them against false teachings. So, nakita ng mga Indian churches na one way to keep the saved saved is to help them to see kung ano yung tamang teaching tsaka false teaching. So, what they've done is to have more classes, again, not done by the top leaders, but done by their teaching committees, okay, against false teaching. So, mas marami ngayong mga ordinary disciples that know how to refute false teachings. Ano pa? Apologetics to save the lost. So tayo, we're thinking more apologetics to save the lost, pero sila both to save the saved and to save the lost. Just like yung ginawa ni Paul, arguing persuasively about the kingdom of God, which went on sa lecture hall in Tyrannus for 2 years. Okay, so some of the things na tinuturo nila, Christians and Bible talk leaders, it's another thing that really calls me higher. For their Bible talk leaders in India, they are equipped to talk about the Bible as the Word of God, even prophecies, historical archaeological evidence, proving through scriptures that Jesus is God. Remember, Hinduism is big kasi sa India, diba? So, in fact, some radical Hindus pa. And then preparing seekers for sin study. Now, tinanong ko ngayon si Shy Juice, ano itong preparing seekers for sin study? They realized, nung pinag-aralan nila, kailan nagda-drop out ang mga studies. They realized, usually nagda-drop out sila sa sin study. So, ginawa ng teaching committees nila, maybe we need a study to prepare people for the sin study. So, okay yun na, you know? So, anyway, hindi ko pa nakuha yung study, pero gusto kong kunin one time. You know? Pero, in their culture kasi, hirap ang mga Hindus na mag-open up ng sin. Okay? So, ewan ko, siguro tayo, Catholic, maraming Catholic background, easy lang to, you know, pero iibahin lang yung concept. Pero they realized, let's engage culture and Christianity. They realized, kailangan mag-prepare ang Hindu mind. The Indian mindset is very Hindu, no, to open up their sin and to really see sin for what it is. Diba? Kasi in Hinduism, sin is not really an offense against God. One, they have thousands of gods. Two, you can't really offend them. Okay? So, yun ngayon, ang ginawa nila, they created a study na for some people na mukhang kailangan ito ng preparation for the sin study. Yun ang sin study. Galing, no? Alright. Another thing that they're doing in India is blogging. They realize na talagang our reach is limited if we just invite people to church and Bible talks. So they realize na ang starting point for many people is the internet. And so, ang ginawa ng teaching committee nila is nag-usap-usap sila, can we have more people blogging? Okay? So, nag-start with one, yung ICC Bangalore. Okay? Free website yan, di ba? Pag WordPress. Okay? But anyway, so marami silang mga topics na pag-usapan yung starting. So, how can we trust the Bible? Of course, maraming Indian, they don't really read the Bible, Hindu background. Who is the true God and what is salvation? So they start with 3 very specific topics, no? And now they have more bloggers. And it's not that just the teachers doing it, you have more Christians doing it. So mas marami talaga yung galamay, no, ng teaching ministry. Tapos they really feel na dapat maraming downloadables, no? Maraming downloadables. So you have podcasts, you can listen online, streaming, PDF. But anyway, all these things, no, working in sync so that they have more ways to reach other people. So I feel very called higher by the teaching ministry in India, and I hope that inspires you as well. All right, that's my lesson for this morning. Thank you.